StreamYard. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Got it going. And the
Hi,
countdown is going.
Hi, Andrew Mason. How are you?
Hi, Cecil, Lammey. I'm fine. I'm just fine heading into this Labor Day weekend, the bye weekend for all 32 teams in the NFL.
Yeah, it's the calm before the storm.
Ooh, yes. It's not gonna be too long here. 10 days, and then it's going down for real.
I love it. And I love the fact that Bo Nix is going to get out there and he's going to learn some more. We've got plenty to get to on today's program. It is Orange and Blue today. It is Cecil Lammey. It is Andrew Mason, and it is the rapid growth. As soon as Mike Mcglinchey says that today, Mace, I'm looking over at you. We talk after the presser like we've got to talk about this because, yes, there will be ups and downs, but just from when we first saw Bo until now, even his teammates are seeing rapid growth.
And the thing is, that's rapid growth from a point that was already above what we would have expected from most rookies walking in. It was that day at rookie minicamp that Saturday, and it was all we could do to keep from just gushing. And I think we were very cognizant of saying, look, there's going to be ups and downs. It's day one, but he looked more advanced coming in than other rookie quarterbacks we had seen over the years. And so from that level, from that higher level that he had compared to other quarterbacks in the same spot, he's continued to grow and grow profoundly, and his teammates are taking notice of it.
Yeah, they're taking notice of it because on the practice field and in the locker room and even in the huddle with what you get with Bo Nix, it's very mature. And I think it was Alex Singleton, right, yesterday that kind of made fun of his age, because he's 30 or whatever. It's like, well, he definitely behaves like an older player because of all that experience. And maybe that's where rapid growth comes from. The question for me, maybe this is an end of the show conversation, but it's like, okay, where's that growth lead? I like it now. Where's the ceiling at? High floor. Where's the ceiling? Because he's got rapid growth. Teammates love it. And, we want to see how much he can grow.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to think where is he going to be this year? I'm going to read you an ESPN projection for Bo Nix.
Okay.
For this season. 17 passing touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 3,155 passing yards.
That's okay. Now it's probably like Mike Clay or somebody that did it, but
I don't think that was Mike Clay.
I have him at 3,700 yards, 25 to 30 touchdowns, and 10 picks.
Yeah.
Which do you like?
I think it's more reasonable to expect what you're saying than Bo Nix, a very accurate passer, suddenly becoming a guy who at this level barely has more touchdowns than interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to. If Bo Nix is looking like that, I don't know if Bo Nix gets a season in. But they want him to take some risks. But at the same time, part of the reason Bo Nix is out there and Russell Wilson is now in Pittsburgh is with Russell Wilson, it wasn't interceptions, but it was sacks. And sacks can be damaging in a different way than interceptions. Sacks, but they can be drive killers. And too often he'd take those sacks and he'd fail to get out of that. And what you're hoping is Bo Nix being able to read the field more quickly and basically do everything more quickly. Like one of the things that was interesting coming out of the last couple of days was with talking about Bo Nix running the offense in practice, and the Broncos go at a real high tempo in practice. And then all of a sudden getting to the games, it felt like it slowed down because they had been working so fast in practice that all of a sudden when you've got the whole play clock to work with, it's like, wow, I've got time. I can settle in here. And so that was yet another test on a daily basis that Bo Nix passed, was Payton kind of, saying, let's get going, let's be quick. And then you get to the games, and by and large, unless you're running a 2-minute drill, you don't have to be that quick.
Right. And after the snap, that's when things get fast. And that's where I believe, Mace, that most of the great quarterbacks already understand before the snap. It doesn't mean you can't fool them. It doesn't mean they won't see something. And obviously, Bo's going to see stuff he's never seen before. But before the snap, he's going to understand what's going to be open or what should be open. And then he's going to respond by making sure that he goes through his progressions, holds his eyes. And I know that guy on the backside is going to be open. I'm going to hold my eyes on the front side so that when I get to my hitch, I can step and throw.
Yeah, there's going to be better decisions made, and they're going to be judicious shots taken because he understands the play structure and how all the pieces operate. And then on top of that, he uses the middle of the field.
Hey, shocker. How many things can we say are different from last year? Like, oh, let me count the ways, because you start with middle of the field. That's a big one.
It's that, I mean, there's just a completely different atmosphere around this team. A quiet confidence. I mean, occasionally you get some things, coming out like Mike Mcglinchey when he talked with the media today. And then there at the end, kind of the last thing he said was, it's awesome to have him overlook us because it's going to be a lot of fun when we prove him wrong. So you can see they're keeping some receipts.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It's not something that's like kind of paralyzing them or overwhelming them, but it's just very okay. They've got our roster 31st. This outlet has got us going 4-13. Okay. Keeping receipts. I mean, hey, maybe they kept a receipt on me saying 7-10. Although one interesting thing today, and this is one to think about, like, again, in the course of the season. So Sean Payton was profiled by by NOLA.com, the newspaper and the website down in New Orleans. Jeff Duncan, the columnist, came up to Denver recently to do a profile on him.
Oh, he loves him.
Yeah, the kicker at the end of the story is, quote, "I love being the underdog. The next time I only win 6 games in a season will be the first," unquote. So it's quiet confidence, but then you had that Mcglinchey today, and then you have Sean Payton there. Like, there are moments it kind of oozes out that they're relishing this role, and they want to, as was said in Major League. I'm not going to say the word. Give everybody a nice bleep burger to eat.
Yep.
Me, that's what it is. I'm for wasting sports writers' time.
Well, we know it starts with Bo, and actually it starts at the top. So the good feeling that you mentioned, the connectivity that I believe and you believe is out there now, I mean, it starts from ownership on down, and ownership is even excited about Bo Nix. Of course, they should be, because they're seeing the rapid growth and they're seeing how excited Sean Payton is. Let's play what Greg Penner said about Bo Nix, because this is the gentleman at the top that has a healthy respect for Sean Payton and is excited to see more of Bo Nix.
I've been really impressed with his poise and maturity. There's something about starting that many games in college that obviously develops that, and I think he's got some incredible traits. It was great to see how he played in the first 2 preseason games. I had a chance to call him after Sean announced that he'd be the starting quarterback. Had a great conversation with him then. All rookies are going to go through some ups and downs in their first season, and I told him we're going to support you. I'm excited to see what he can do on the field and the rest of this roster.
Acknowledgement of the ups and downs. The background of it, I asked Greg Penner kind of just his thoughts on Bo Nix, because like it or not, the quarterback is the face of the franchise.
Yes.
It's more than just another player on the roster. So kind of in that regard, what did he think of where Bo Nix stood? Because if everything works out, Bo Nix, respect to the governor, respect even to Nikola Jokic, Bo Nix becomes the most famous person in the state of Colorado. The most recognized person. That's what you're hoping.
All right.
I should say maybe I'll say most recognized other than Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning may have that one on lockdown for a while because he's worked his way past just football into the general cultural zeitgeist. I mean, Peyton Manning's probably become more famous now than he ever was as a player. So, okay, probably second most famous person in Colorado could be Bo Nix. That's what you're hoping. So it was cool. It was cool to hear that. And and also with Greg Penner, there's the involved but not micromanaging. Like,
yes,
I gave him a call after Sean made the announcement. So basically left the football part of it of when Bo Nix is going to start. Didn't try to put pressure on it. Let the football part handle that. This isn't, David Tepper insisting on Bryce Young in Carolina, and we see how that's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's another layer there that shows just how functional this operation has become in a very short amount of time. And I think it's only a matter of time before the sustained success comes into play.
Right. You and I have been around long enough. Jake Plummer used to talk about that being, if you're the quarterback of the Broncos, there's such a weight on you that maybe some of the guys that have come through here, your Flaccos, your Case Keenums, maybe they don't understand or recognize just how large that is. Jake Plummer did, and he'd always try to tell the young guys after him, like, monitor that, manage that.
It sounds cool until you're dropped in it. It's not for everybody. I think you mentioned Case Keenum and Joe Flacco as good examples. I mean, Joe Flacco, an interesting example because, he was a starter in Baltimore for a decade plus. But for the first half of that time, he wasn't even the most famous player on his team. That was Ray Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ray Lewis was the face of that franchise, not Joe Flacco.
Right.
Case Keenum, his starting gig in Minnesota, I mean, he was a fill-in. You're not going to become the face of the franchise when you're a fill-in like that. It's not for everybody, and that spotlight will cause some to wilt and melt. Do you think maybe that was part of things with Russell Wilson here? Because I actually don't, because I think he's shown he's comfortable in the spotlight.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
The issues there were not related to that aspect of being the Denver Broncos quarterback.
Right. Is it all about Russell Wilson or is it all about the Denver Broncos? I think we kind of know that answer. And there's just so many clues. We talk about how different it is. The authenticity and the connectivity are two words that I'll keep going back to.
Funny you mention authenticity. I think we should play the comment from Mike Mcglinchey now. There's another comment we'll play for him about kind of Bo Nix's growth on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But I followed up by asking about it beyond what was on the field, because it's not just going out there, getting in the huddle, executing the plays that an NFL that defines being an NFL quarterback. You have to be able to relate to your teammates and lead the entire team. It's part of why it's such a tough job to fill, is because there are so many different aspects to it that go beyond just the obvious of, hey, you can spin it, right? So I asked Mike Mcglinchey about that, and here's what he had to say today.
I think he's been great. I mean, Bo's a great dude, and he's a great guy to hang out with, great guy to have a conversation with. I think he's fit in unbelievably well, and I think he has come in and be authentically himself, and I think that's all you can ask for him. And for us, he doesn't have to be somebody that he's not just because he's the superstar quarterback of an NFL franchise. He's a homegrown dude that really likes playing football, really likes being a teammate, and that's definitely shown through the rest of us in the way that we appreciate his work so far.
Authentically himself.
Mm-hmm. Fit in.
Yes.
Hang out. How many times did we hear about hanging out last year? I mean, Jake Plummer
with the quarterback or other players. We knew about it with other players. Jarrett Stidham certainly is a guy who hang out.
Sure. He's not your starter.
Exactly. Not so much with the old number 3.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where he makes the comment, and I don't think he's thinking about Russell Wilson when he says it. I think
not at all.
But that's where a lot of people are going to take it, right? Because let's face it, and we saw it at the press conferences week after week, Russell Wilson seemed to have a problem with kind of authenticity. It was, there were so few moments where he kind of dropped that mask a little bit. I mean, I would say with Bo Nix, even like when he gets up there, maybe he's not saying very much, but I think that's authentic to him. Because you get him to peel back the onion, you get him talking ball.
Mm-hmm. That's what he wants to talk.
He loves talking ball. I think it's one reason why he and Sean Payton get along so well. They love talking ball.
Yeah.
Love talking concepts. Figuring, trying to solve the riddles of defenses together. I think that's a reason why they've had these shared moments so far.
It's a shared moment.
They're having some shared moments, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. And just think about what Mcglinchey said there. Authenticity. He fit in with us.
Mm-hmm.
That is so important. We the whole show could have been on just that one statement. He fit in with them. That's a locker room full of some, I know, young, whatever, but like some veterans like Mcglinchey.
Yes.
Fit in.
He fit in. Stepped right in. So he steps in the huddle. He fits in smoothly. And you know what? By fitting in like that, that means you got guys that are going to have your back too.
I was just
and it was something Mcglinchey talked about that as well, that sometimes we're going to have to pick Bo up.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. He's going to drive this thing, but sometimes the conductor of the train has to be picked up off the ground.
It's that buy-in.
Yeah.
They're all in, they're together. And these guys haven't said it point blank, Mace, but I guarantee the Broncos, like Mcglinchey, had run through a brick wall for that kid.
Yeah. He hasn't even played a game yet.
It's August.
I know.
And these guys feel like that.
It's been OTAs, minicamp, training camp, 2 preseason games. He's gone up against first teamers of another team for 1 day, the joint practice against the Packers. And there's already this buy-in. Let's hear from Javonte Williams, because he talked about another aspect of Bo Nix that is really impressing the guys in the locker room. Here's what Javonte had to say.
I mean, just getting the plays out and things like that for him, I'm pretty sure that was a big part for him, because most players have to use wristbands and things like that. But I can see him picking it up without the wristbands for real. So just seeing him do that and things like that just shows that he's mature, confident, and like I said, he's just been ready for this position. Now he's in it.
Without the wristband.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Again, Javonte wasn't speaking on Russell specifically. He was just telling you what Bo is.
Yeah. It's what goes through his mind. What goes through his mind.
Right.
It also, the fact that they talk about 2 kind of different things. It goes back to when we were detailing earlier in training camp how Bo was winning guys over on the defensive side. And they were talking about like different attributes. You'd hear something different from PJ Locke, then you heard from Cody Barton, then you heard from Jonathan Cooper. Like bit by like it's like he was doing so many things just by being himself, being authentic, and guys, and that's another thing. He's winning them over by doing nothing more than being Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no mask. What you see is what you get. David's saying our lying eyes can't lie that much. He looks and acts like the real deal. Yeah. And I think one thing that guys like is there is a maturity to him, especially like the veteran players. Even though this guy's a rookie, you're hearing over and over he's not acting like a rookie. He's not playing like a rookie.
Right.
This is gonna be fun to watch, man. This is gonna be fun to watch.
Yes, through the ups and through the downs, we're going to be there for everything. The one thing that I love about this situation, Mace, is like Jarrett Stidham caught the locker room because he's a jokester and he's a fun guy and all that, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with personality. I'm not saying Bo Nix doesn't have a personality, but as you mentioned, he caught the attention of the locker room through his work, through his love of football.
Yep.
Not through that he's a jokester or he's a prankster or whatever. And you got to have both, right? Peyton Manning was a little bit of jokester, but he'd also get in your kitchen if you weren't playing up to the standard. Bo hasn't done that yet, but like he got the respect of players, not through just being a clown, you know, he did it through his work.
Yeah. And that's another layer to it, that you just come out there, you sling it around, you run the offense, you conduct yourself in the right way in the locker room. Something I started noticing more and more, and I think he wasn't like going to be like overly aggressive about kind of reaching out to guys, like because sometimes you can try too hard in that. I'd say maybe Russ tried too hard.
Sure.
To like, shake, high five, like go up to guys. Mm-hmm. The thing I noticed in Indianapolis and in the Green Bay pregame at Empower Field at Mile High, the thing I noticed was that guys were coming up to him, and he wasn't trying to force it, like as far as like just going and high-fiving guys and all that. He wasn't like moving, like Russ would kind of sometimes run all over the field. Bo wasn't doing that. Guys would come in and he'd high five, but then you'd see like Garett Bolles come in and kind of give him an embrace, and Alex Singleton come over and give him an embrace. And I think I want to say I saw it with Courtland Sutton as well at one point. It's just, it feels really natural.
Mm-hmm. Genuine. Authentic. Yeah. These are words that we couldn't use last year. And it isn't about the guy last year. It's about the guy this year. Mm-hmm. It's about Bo going forward.
But we were all also, it is, but we're also talking about how this year is supposed to be different than last year and how things going forward can be different, right?
Yes. We're talking about the atmosphere and the attitude. Yes.
Jinx.
Yes. You knew where I was going with that. It's good. It feels good. And again, there will be bumps when Bo throws 3 picks. We're not going to shy away from it, but we're going to talk about it. But I'm not going to lose my mind. You're not going to lose your mind. Like, there's going to be those type of days.
The thing I'll be curious about when you have 3 picks on Sunday, and I mean, this is as predictable as the sunrise. The question I'm going to ask Sean Payton is, what did you see on the film on those picks? There's the old cliche, every interception has a story. The question is, what happened, and are you going to learn from it? Now, another thing you keep hearing over and over about Bo Nix is, okay, he's not making the same mistake twice. Okay, that's in practice. Let's see that happen in the game. If he continues to not make the same mistake twice when he gets out there in the games for real, then I think you may end up seeing a quarterback who is metronomic in his efficiency and reliable. Coaches like reliable, especially offensive coaches that take great pride in their scheme and play design. Sean Payton certainly does that. And if he has a quarterback who can go out there and do the things that he's visualizing, then that's going to excite him.
That's going to excite everybody on both sides of the ball, because you can do your job and the other guy is doing what he needs to do. If you're a defense, to get you a little sip of Gatorade while you rest and the offense and goes to work.
Yeah, hopefully not going 3 and out. They can get that Gatorade and take a little time off. You want to play that other Mcglinchey comment, the one we didn't get to, the one
Nick's on the field,
talking about what he brings and how he's grown on the field. Here's what Mike had to say.
I don't know if it's a specific example, but it's certainly the rapid improvement has been super impressive to me from OTAs when he first got here in May to where he's at now. He's a different football player, and it's a great sense of who he is as a pro, who he is as a competitor. to learn that fast and put himself in a position to lead our football team. And everybody's excited for him to do that. There's been so many examples of him showing composure and his collection in the huddle and his ability to stay calm no matter the situation out there. And he was the same on the practice field as he was the 2 games that we've lined up so far. And I think that speaks to his composure as much as anything, is that the moment isn't too big for him. He's ready for it, and he's ready to go attack it.
We got a little breaking news coming in here at the end of the show.
For the Lavelle Bailey thing?
Lavelle Bailey waived by the Broncos.
Yeah. Yep.
They the guy they're bringing in is Christian Welch, who was let go by the Packers earlier this week, also an inside linebacker. Of course, they would have seen him play in the joint practice a couple weeks back. We knew the Broncos were looking at inside linebackers, that they were looking at that position.
Yes.
Is it a little bit shocking to see that the guy they let go of is Lavelle Bailey, who did stick on the 53? Yes. Now, they're probably gambling that he can slip through. I mean, certainly Sean Payton is hoping this doesn't turn out like Todd Davis back 10 years ago when he was with New Orleans, waived Todd Davis, and then the Broncos claimed him. So another thing also to consider is that the Broncos, I believe they have 1 practice squad spot left because Donald Parham did practice today. He did arrive at tight end.
Right.
Long, big number 89. So there's a spot for Lavelle Bailey, presuming that he passes through. And maybe if you're the Broncos, like, okay, the league's shutting down here. Maybe we can kind of slip him through and get him back on the practice squad. But yeah, that's a pretty notable thing. Christian Welch is a guy who he did play in Baltimore for a while, and
Iowa kid.
He's a core special teamer as well. So that's probably going to be his initial role. And now you start looking at the Broncos and their game day active roster, and both of your inside linebackers who are in reserve behind Cody Barton and Alex Singleton. Christian Welch and Justin Sternad promise to be core special teamers.
Yeah. And how many times did we say that's going to be a huge part of roster building? So Welch, you get an Iowa linebacker, I guess, you lose Josie, you had another Hawkeye.
It's the Broncos circle of life, I guess.
They like Iowa linebackers, not Wyoming linebackers. I was still trying to find out if Easton Gibbs made Seattle because they cut him. He went to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh cut him. He went back to Seattle. So I haven't seen that come across my newswire yet, but hey, Welch, Gibbs, whatever, play special teams, get to the ball when you need to. So we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't see his name here as I do a quick search on him. Doesn't look like he landed on the Seahawks practice squad.
Okay. All right. Well, there you
go. Okay.
Well, we'll see if Bailey can come back then.
So someone has this on Twitter. Easton Gibbs has 3 brothers, Weston, Northen, Southen. Could be true, maybe not. God,
could be true, probably not.
That's bad.
What kind of bat did you use playing baseball growing up? Because it's Easton's.
It was an Easton aluminum
bat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, I saw a picture of Bo Jackson from when he was at Auburn in his baseball days on the Auburn baseball program there, and like it had Easton, it was like in green, and I like, that was my bat. I mean, I had a smaller version of it, but that was my bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go.
The ping, ding.
It's a distinct sound, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, it's just too expensive to get wood bats for kids. I mean, let's be real here.
Right. Although we're not breaking them over our knees like Bo did.
Legend.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Bo, building his own legacy here. We're excited for week 1. We're going to take you right up. Monday, everybody's off except us. We'll be out there because the Broncos are going to be open to whatever degree. We'll watch whatever we can. We'll talk to whoever we can, and we'll make it happen. Yeah.
I mean,
locker room won't be open till Wednesday, though, right?
No, it was open Monday last year. I think it's going to be open on Monday this time. I'm
sweet.
hoping one of the people I'm hoping to talk with is Donald Parham, the new tight end.
It's a good
On
move.
the practice squad, just to get a feel for him, see where he's at. Good red zone target. Very interesting pickup for the Broncos this week.
Yeah, damn good pickup for sure, especially for what they want him to do. All right, that is a wrap for today's program, but we need your help on YouTube. Mace, how can people help us out?
Like,
comment,
share,
subscribe,
hit that notification bell.
So that you
never miss
vid.
vid.
That's right. He's Andrew Mason. I'm Cecil Lammey. I'll untangle my headphones here.
That's what you get when you spin like that, man.
Yeah, you never
Gonna
know.
mess up your wires.
You never know on this show. We get a little silly at the end. It's fine. He's Mace. Follow him on all the socials at Mace Denver. I'm Cease. OBT BFD. Thanks. Stay tuned. Stay frosty.